Hello, everyone. I have a great story for you today. I'm going to tell you the story of Floyd Mayweather Jr., born on February 24, 1977, in Michigan. He comes from a boxing family. His father, Floyd Mayweather Sr., and his uncle, Roger Mayweather, were both professional boxers. Get ready to discover his journey and determination that allowed him to become the world's #1 and the richest athlete in the world. To some, Floyd is Money Mayweather. To others, he is simply the greatest boxing superstar of his generation. He ultimately changed his nickname from Pretty Boy to Money, symbolizing money, power, and respect. It's not hard to figure out what he is after. Very quick, lightning fast, someone who so disgusted you with his flossing and beyond. He's already made somewhere upwards of $800 million. It's not the money, it's the money. Last year alone, Mayweather earned close to $100 million, all the flash making him #1 on Sports Illustrated's list of the world's richest athletes. Floyd was raised in the gyms of Grand Rapids, Michigan. He was living in a one-bedroom with no lights, no heat. He never cried, never complained. He was molded in his father's image, a successful fighter in his own right. Floyd Mayweather Sr. laid the groundwork that led to Floyd becoming a world champion at age 21. His dad went out there when Floyd lived with him in Michigan, taking chances, hustling to put food on the table, introducing Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather at age 19. Floyd would fight his first professional bout. By him being a pro, he wanted to be successful, so that when his father came out of jail, he'd be able to lift up his dad so that his father wouldn't be eating bologna sandwiches. Floyd was throwing jabs and working the bag before he could walk. His father and his uncle Roger, both well-regarded pros, came from a family of fighters and boxers. They raised their son and nephew when he was in the crib, throwing jabs and left hooks with rattles. It's in the blood. Floyd Sr. suffered a wound to the leg that prematurely ended his professional boxing career. His energy quickly shifted toward making a champion of his infant son, taking him into the gym bag. When Floyd Jr. was a kid, his father used to put him on his shoulders and help him hit the speed bag. At the age of 21, Mayweather was a world champion, the youngest title holder in pro boxing. He's a total package, one of the best fighters of his generation. Mayweather had established himself as one of boxing's rising stars. His sole motivation is that he wants to retire undefeated, a multiple champion in 5 or 6 different weight classes. You go down as the best ever to do it. His domination continued. A magician, he's not a technician. He's a magician. Following this fight, Mayweather, citing too much pressure from his father to achieve perfection, as well as a natural chemistry with his uncle, fired Floyd Sr. as both his manager and trainer. Father was out. Uncle was in. Floyd Mayweather Jr. was trained at the beginning of his professional career by his father, Floyd Mayweather. Ultimately, they didn't get along at all, so Uncle Roger Mayweather was brought in to become the trainer instead. For a 21-year career, Mayweather was at the top when talking about landing the highest percentage. He is at the top when talking about making the most money. When he was moving up the weight classes, he started at lightweight. He fought Diego Corrales, a knockout artist. Floyd steps in the ring with him, knocks him down 6 or 7 different times, knocking down a paralysis career. For all his gifts, Mayweather did have a weakness: brittle hands. In the 6th round, Mayweather injured his left hand in what would go down as the first official knockout of Floyd's career. Able to overcome the injury, Floyd secured the win. Brittle hands, a condition that plagues many fighters, talking about the difficulties that befall the hands of boxers, especially the fists of hard punchers. He receives this wax treatment on his hands multiple times a week because hand problems threaten the career of Floyd Mayweather Jr., one of many regimens he goes through weekly to keep his hands healthy. Floyd's hands were so bad, it looked like he was gonna have to retire. Mayweather went up in weight to face the WBC lightweight champion. Floyd went through a big transition of his own. If you go back to the early parts of his career and watch when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was a much more aggressive fighter and would put himself in danger. But despite flashes of genius, he struggled past Jose Luis Castillo to claim the lightweight crown. From a second time, they love to hate him. More importantly, they've paid to hate him. He has no problem with accepting and embracing the villain role. And as long as it drove pay-per-view sales, Floyd had no problem being the bad man they wanted him to be. Many observers also believe that Mayweather had a point to prove against Gatti in 2005. In his first pay-per-view appearance, Floyd staked his claim to the title of boxing's pound-for-pound best. Undefeated, Pretty Boy, 38 fights, 38 wins, titles in 5 weight classes, but nothing elevated his name more than his 2007 showdown with the Golden Boy, Oscar de la Hoya. Oscar was the pay-per-view king, but finally, when Floyd got free and became his own boss, he did things his way. It was the sports showdown of the year. De la Hoya was the biggest draw in boxing. Mayweather's win over De la Hoya earned him his 6th title and smashed pay-per-view records. The match would lift Mayweather to levels of fame reached by very few fighters. From Dancing with the Stars to mingling with Obama, Pretty Boy Floyd has become a household name. The Hatton fight sold out in less than an hour. The crowd was almost entirely pro-Hatton. The rich, powerful, and famous all flocked to the array, a diverse and star-studded celebrity group. He was beating up popular, good fighters and was unpopular with most people. They paid to see him lose, and that was his stated strategy behind the scenes. Later on, he admitted it. Floyd Mayweather's on a completely different planet. It was a clinic. Mayweather embarrassed Hatton, knocking out the undefeated fighter in the 10th round. He is one of the great pure boxers who ever lived. He has never cheated himself. He always was in condition, had no off nights. Floyd Mayweather is the best boxer in the world. 5 different weight classes, 20 championship fights. He fought the best of all over the world, from De La Hoya to Ricky Hatton, and the best fighter in boxing. His last fight with Marquez wouldn't swirl around Scott. He had to shake off the cobwebs because he was retired for 2 years. Sugar Ray Leonard came back to lay off successfully, and they did, but they were never quite the same. The punching stats told a tale of utter domination. Mayweather landed 59% of his punches. Marquez landed only 12%, shutting everything down. He just became this defensive wizard that earlier it's like 2 cobras squaring off. So far it's been more like a cobra and his prey. He is the king of serpents. During this 4-fight stretch, Mayweather would battle one future Hall of Fame opponent after the next. Only been hit solid, maybe 7 or 8 tosses over here once when you got a little rock by Shane Mosley. The crowd is coming, you've got to fight for a moment here. The Shane Mosley hit him in the 2nd round. I saw Floyd go to the stool, sit down, sit back up, and come out there and pick them up. He's the greatest of all time. Like he's better at boxing than Stephen Hawking is at astrophysics. Mayweather was returning after a 16-month layoff to face Ortiz. The official purse is $25 million, but certainly he's going to make $30 or $40 million. This guy is that big of an attraction. He dominated from the start, showing no signs of rust. During the 4th round, after being schooled by Floyd, Ortiz launched into an illegal headbutt, bloodying Mayweather's lip. The dirty move drew the ire of the crowd. When the action resumed, Ortiz motioned to embrace Floyd, forgetting the most fundamental of all boxing rules: protect yourself at all times. This protect yourself at all times. He done some dirty work. We're not here to cry a little ball. I find no fault with what Mayweather did. Once he says time is back in, no matter where he's looking, time is back in, and that's the rule. The night of my fight with Cotto as oneness that would be any simpler, leading them until I win, until I got incarcerated. Floyd Mayweather Jr., 10-1,004-5. Once again, no pictures, just hearsay and allegations, and I signed a plea. 2 months later, Mayweather was a free man, his appreciation for his life renewed. He went back to work, and one of the things Roger, his uncle, was special for years. But then his father came back, then Drew to help. This was a rotten spot, and got Floyd back to being the defensive artist that he had been for the vast majority of his career. At age 36, Mayweather would square off against unbeaten champion Canelo Alvarez. Few fights have been as electric as this one. Watch him fight. The guy is defensively spectacular. When you watch him stand in front of Canelo, Canelo throws the left. He's right, he's over here, Pop, and you could have a superpower. What would it be? I think it was the Nightcrawler, like he's just teleporting around you from the next. This dude hits you apart, so he just shows up suddenly right now. She disappears and shows up next. And by the way, he must have some kind of powers, because no more walks through him to get him whatever it is that he's doing. He embarrasses dudes. After 12 rounds, Floyd was the obvious victor. Mayweather grossed a record $40 million for the fight. Even if you retire with a perfect record, if you don't fight Pacquiao, then people will say when we talk about the other best fighter, you're one, and there's one other way around. They need the fighting for the enormity of this event, no doubt amplified by the fact that it's the first true fight of the century, a showdown off the social media. After years of back and forth, Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao were finally set to fight. The fight drew a record live gate of $72 million and a record of 4.7 million pay-per-view buys. It can be argued that this one thus far has been defined by the balance sheet. Let's take a look at some of the projections for a fight that reportedly could generate as much as $400 million in revenue, surpassing the GDPs of 29 countries. The two truest butchers of their generation going head-to-head in the fact that so many said would never happen. Here it is at last, it is happening. Everyone was saying for years I was scared and Floyd will lose. And you're the coward, you're the chicken, you guys were all those stories. No, I made you guys eat your words, but I have made Mayweather comfortably ahead. I think it's what most around, that's why. When you just saw, but instead it's Mayweather's just turn this into a clinic. The richest boy in sports history. 4 months later, Floyd won on points over Andre Berto, a maestro, then rode off into the sunset. He was 38 years old, 49-0. Floyd would return again to face UFC star Conor McGregor in a fight that was more spectacle than anything. Pay-per-view sales will likely be the largest ever. Mayweather, the overwhelming favorite, is eyeing a $200 to $300 million payday. When it was all said and done, Floyd would earn a reported $275 million. We broke. We did so many record-breaking numbers, we don't know what we call it pay-per-view. We call it Mayweather. We talk about a billion-dollar fighter. We talk about a billion-dollar fight, Conor McGregor. So, the biggest boxing fight, I think, in history just happened, a week ago. Floyd coasted to the mid-rounds, where the UFC fighter became gassed. Mayweather pounced on him and won his 50th, the victory by way of TKO. His legacy is completed, 50-0. Undefeated, Money Mayweather, the first billionaire boxer in history. His impact on the business will be felt in the sport for generations. Thank you for being part of this journey. I hope you learned. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. See you next time for another story. And if you like a story of a famous person that you like, don't hesitate to write to me in the comments.